Sophia and welcome to the Be Nerdy Booktube channel and welcome to my January wrap-up. So I didn't do a January TBR video because I started this channel last week and we were way into January to make any sense to have a January TBR, but I do have my Instagram post. I pulled it up. I always post both my TBRs and my wrap-ups on Instagram if you want to follow. And let's get into it. So I had 5 books in my Instagram post and they were marked by PC Cast and Kristin Cast, The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton, Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare, and Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I can tell you already that of these 5 books, I only got to 3. I'm pre-recording this, it's like the 30th, so I'm still reading Lord of Shadows, but I can finish this before tomorrow. So, with the help of my lovely notebook here, the first book I read was marked by PC Cast and Kristin Cast. This was one of the books for the Be Nerdy Book Club, and I already have my review up. I'm gonna leave the link down below. And I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Second book I read was The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. And I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. This book is amazing, honestly. And I'm going to do a review on it. But I really need to think this through because I don't want to spoil anyone. And it's very hard with this particular book. Honestly, you better go into it without knowing almost anything. I feel like that is the best way to go. I went into it only knowing like the back part, I can read it. She's been murdered hundreds of times, and each day Aidan Bishop is too late to save her. The only way to break the cycle is to identify Evelyn Hardcastle's killer. But every time the day begins again, Aidan wakes up in the body of a different guest, and someone is desperate to stop him from ever escaping Blackheath. So, read the description on Goodreads, read the description in the back of the book, and don't read anything else on it, honestly. Just watch the reviews after to see if you agree with it or not, but don't watch anything before you pick it up. Honestly, it's the best way. Book number 3 was an ebook, and it was a release. It launched on the 12th or 13th of January, I'm not sure, but it was You Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. Mcmanus, and I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So, me and Karen M. Mcmanus had a little bump in 2018. Basically, I picked up One of Us is Lying, and while I was scrolling through Goodreads to get a better sense of the general opinion, someone actually spoiled me. There was a comment there that wasn't marked as spoilers. I don't remember the name, even if I did, I wasn't telling it. Just be careful when you go into those kinds of comments, because sometimes people may think that it's not a big spoiler, or sometimes they write it because it's their opinion and they don't even realize that they need to mark it as a spoiler. Thing is, I read what was happening in the end and the biggest plot twist even before I picked up the book. I decided to pick it up anyway because I wanted to try it. Everyone was telling like this book's amazing and you need to pick it up and it's an awesome thriller, and I really like thrillers, so I decided to pick it up. When I knew that this book was coming out, I decided not to read anything. Not even the Goodreads summary. I went into completely blind, and I loved it. This book actually happens in a small town where 20 years ago there was a kidnapping of a homecoming princess of the court. and like 15 years later the same thing happened, and 5 years after it, like 20 years after the first one, it started happening again. And that's all I'm gonna say. It's amazing. It's a bit slow paced at times, but I think it helps build up the emotion and the fright. Last but not least, Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. As I said, I'm pre-recording this. I'm about 200 pages left. I'm on page 453. And honestly, I'm really liking it. I don't think it's going to be a 5 stars book unless it suddenly becomes a whole deal brighter, but I think it's a solid 4, 375 4, because I've said this on my Bookstagram more than once. I love Cassandra Clare's writing. I really do. I wish she would write in another universe. I really love the Shadowhunters, and I really love the Shadow World and everything. And honestly, I'm kind of falling in love with Kit and Ty. Like, please, keep them alive. That's all I'm asking. But other than that, I think we're having the same situations over and over again. There's one particular situation. I'm gonna do a review on this book because I have a whole lot of things to say about it. But there's one particular situation that if she just went with the simpler way, I think it would have resulted much better than the far-fetched. That's it. If you've read the book, you may know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think this one is going to be a solid 4. Honestly, I love Emma, and I love Julian, and I love Kit and Ty and Livy and Drew and Diego and Christina and Mark and Jaime and Diana and Magnus and Alec and all the other ones from before. I really do. They're part of my heart right now. That's why they're in my favorite bookshelf. Anyway, this was my January wrap-up. I don't think I did that bad. I mean, 4 books in a month? I don't think it's that bad. I know there's a month that I'm gonna read like 12 or 10 or whatever. If I decide to read like the whole Mart thing in 1 month, I can, I'm pretty sure, go with, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10 books in a month. And this week was a little bit special. There was 2 videos, the January wrap-up and tomorrow's video, which is my February TBR. And this is not gonna happen every week, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. Leave a like before you go and click the subscribe button and ring the bell to know when I post. Bye guys!